So we have function f, which is x squared over x squared minus 16, and function g, which is the square root of x plus 5. And we want to determine, first of all, the domain of range of f of x and g of x. Well, if we look at f, the domain is simple enough. We just can't put in 4 or negative 4. So that's going to be all reals, but x not equal to plus or minus 4. If we look at g, the domain is quite simple as well. We just can't have a negative under here, so we're allowed real values provided that x is greater than or equal to negative 5, ensuring that we have positives under here. Now the range of f is fairly tricky. Let's just do the range of g first. If we look there, then at least we've got 3 out of the 4 marks. So what's the graph going to look like? Well, it's going to originate here at negative 5, and then it's going to go like this. So we can say that the range is all real values, and if we're looking at the y values here, we can see that y is greater than or equal to 0. Now, trying to produce a sketch for this, it's not that difficult, but when you're not used to it, it's tricky. So let's have our axes here. Now, we can see straight away that we're going to have vertical asymptotes here and here. So this is at negative 4, and this is at 4. And if we put x equal to 0 in here, y is equal to 0, so it must go through the origin. And between negative 4 and 4, overall this thing is negative, because the top will be positive, and then we've got something between negative 4 and 4 squared, which will be less than 16, take away 16. So really that has to go down there. Now if we look at the fact that the top is the top is an x squared, and the bottom, the leading term, is an x squared, as x tends to infinity, that must tend to 1. So y equals 1 will be a horizontal asymptote. And when we're close to 4 or negative 4, this is going to still be close to infinity, so it suggests that it's going to do something like this in both of those areas. So once you've got that, then you can say the range is all reals, but from this section we can say y is less than or equal to 0, and from these two sections y must be greater than 1. Now in part B we want f of g of x, so that's going to be f of root x plus 5. Substitute that into f, and we get root x plus 5 squared over root x plus 5 squared, take away 16, which is x plus 5 over x plus 5 take 16, giving us x plus 5 over x minus 11. Now in part C we want the domain of f of g of x. Now remember, that's going to go through g first and then go through f. So we know that we can put x is a real, x is greater than or equal to negative 5 into g. So that suggests part of our domain. The only thing that we need to avoid other than that is 11, and let's see why that doesn't work. Let's suppose we had 11 going in here. Then this would be the square root of 11 plus 5, which is 16, which means we have 4 here, and we know that 4 can't go into f. So we also need to exclude the value 11.